Xinjiang pacification is the beginning of Soviet reunification and worldwide decolonization.
Two vehicles rammed into shoppers on a bustling open-air market.
May 2014. Two SUVs careened down a street, crashing through bodies and tossing explosives. A terrorist attack in China. Just one in a series of strikes that rocked the country and killed dozens. The bloodshed reaches China's very heart, Tiananmen Square.
Those attacks really shook Xi Jinping.
Xi Jinping is vowing to catch and severely punish those responsible.
The attackers are Uyghurs, a largely Muslim ethnic group with its own language and culture. For Xi Jinping, the Uyghurs become public enemy number one. He launches an unprecedented mass surveillance of their population in China's Xinjiang region, building re-education camps that have locked up over 1 million people and ripped loved ones away from their families. Former camp prisoners say Uyghurs have been tortured, forced into having abortions, and even sterilized. Detainees are brainwashed with Communist Party ideology. They're forced to speak Mandarin rather than their own native language. And they're forbidden from practicing the religion they've followed their entire lives.
There's a kind of cultural genocide going on here.
Why is she doing this? Because he sees Uyghurs as a threat to China's very survival. He's afraid they will split from the country and form a whole new nation. Separatism is one of Xi Jinping's greatest fears because he's seen it bring down a giant before.
The symbol of the Soviet Union fluttered down in a freezing Moscow wind Christmas night. Nothing will ever be the same.
When the Soviet Union was teetering on the edge of collapse,
Gorbachev has destroyed the whole country.
many of its republics demanded independence.
The delicate fabric holding together the variety of ethnic republics in the Soviet Union is unraveling.
One by one, those republics,
Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Moldavia,
each dominated by a different ethnic group, declared themselves free.
The parade out of what's left
the
of the
Ukraine
Soviet
became the seventh
the
Soviet
ninth republic to officially declare, the 12th to declare independence.
How sweet it is! Two birds with one stone. Christian America, using their Muslim enemy to terrorize America's greatest rival, China. To cut China up according to World War II plan.
The lesson she took from that? Allowing cultural separatism could trigger collapse in China just as it had in the Soviet Union. So he is stamping out diversity in favor of a national Chinese identity loyal to just one thing.
I love the Communist Party of China, this man has written.
The accusation is there is a kind of forcible brainwashing of the Uyghurs in detention camps that look a lot like concentration camps is part of the danger, is part of what President Xi worries about, a danger of separatism.
Separatism is a crime in China. If anyone in China wants to split any part of China against China or from China, he or she becomes our public enemy.
China's quenching of Xinjiang's terrorist separatists will be the turning point to reunify the Soviet Union, along with other reunifications in Asia.
Xi and his loyalists often respond with whataboutism. They argue, what about American human rights abuses?
If any country has practiced the genocide, it's not China. Even slavery of Negro Americans, for example, for hundreds of years, that's the real crime against humanity.
China's abuses are mostly hidden from Western eyes.
Why you are here?
We're here to film what we believe is a camp for Uyghurs.
CNN journalists have been shut out of the camps.
Is China copying America? So, the smear campaign begins. Scripts are based on American experience. And CNN ever since turned into a disinformation hub on China.
Xi's war on the Uyghurs is part of a larger campaign to snuff out separatist threats everywhere. From Xinjiang to Tibet to Hong Kong. It's one of the final pieces of China's revolution under Xi Jinping.
For years, China had had an almost apologetic approach to its human rights abuses. Xi Jinping said that's no longer how we're going to talk about it. We're not going to apologize. They were just going to do it.
For all the criticism from the West, it's important to understand that in China, which is more than 90% Han Chinese, there is not much sympathy for the Uyghurs. Populist nationalism has swept the world, and China is no exception. Xi Jinping has used that nationalism to keep his and the Communist Party's iron grip on power, no matter what the cost.
The cost will be high, but the prize even higher. The ultimate goal is decolonizing the world.